unfortunately have such health disparities and inequalities. So when Makeda reached out to me to discuss sleep, I said no problem. So um, sleep is very vital, and according to Makeda, I too sometimes lack very much enough sleep. Okay, so now I'm just going to share my screen, and we will get all right. Bear with me. Okay, sleep, and that's me again, Sharice Warner. So, what is sleep? Can anybody just say what sleep is? Maybe you could put it in the chat, or what you think sleep is. Okay. All right. So let's just. Oops. All right. So, what is sleep? Sleep is a natural process that allows the body and brain to rest and recover. It is a decreased responsiveness to external stimuli, closed eyes, reduced breathing rates, and altered body position. It is a temporary suspension of consciousness, essential for physical and mental restoration. It involves changes in brain activity, physiology, and behavior that serves various functions and benefits for health and well-being. So this is just some anatomy of what sleep is. So the hypothalamus, that's part of the brain. All this is part of the brain. It's a peanut-sized structure deep inside the brain, and it has a group of nerve cells that act as control centers affecting sleep and wakefulness. The brainstem, which is made up of structures called the pons, medulla, and midbrain, controls the transition between wake and sleep. The pineal gland, located within the brain's two hemispheres, and it increases the production of the hormone melatonin, which helps put you to sleep once the lights are out. And the basal forebrain, near the front and the bottom of the brain, also promotes sleep and wakefulness, while part of the midbrain acts as a system to help us stay alert during the day. So why do we have to sleep? So functions of sleep. Healthy sleep helps the body remain healthy and stave off diseases. Without enough sleep, the brain cannot function properly, impairing your abilities to concentrate, think clearly, and process memories. It supports healthy brain function and memory. It allows the brain to store new information and get rid of toxic waste. It helps repair cells and restore energy. Lack of sleep affects concentration and responsiveness. Sleep is essential for immune function and metabolism and other vital processes. So there's a science of sleep. Sleep is a complex process that affects almost every tissue and system in the body. Some of the things that happen while you are asleep include the brain stores new information and gets rid of toxic waste. Nerve cells communicate and reorganize, which supports healthy brain function. The body repairs cells, restore energy, releases molecules like hormones and proteins. The science of sleep conserves energy and storage and self repair and recovery. Upon falling asleep, thousands of neurons in the brain switch from waking to a sleeping state, sending signals throughout the body. While the biological role of sleep still isn't fully understood, research demonstrates that it reinforces the cardiovascular system and immune systems and helps regulate metabolism. So, these are some concepts that you're going to hear about sleep. Sleep phases. Sleep can be divided into two major phases: the non rapid eye movement, which is also known NREM sleep, and rapid eye movement, which we all know as REM sleep. Each phase has distinct characteristics and functions in the sleep cycle. We will be going over that. And of course, the sleep cycle. A sleep cycle is a period that includes different stages of sleep. Each cycle lasts about 90 to 120 minutes and repeats 4 to 6 times per night. The stages of sleep are NREM stage 1, 2, and 3, and then REM stage. And most of us have heard of the circadian rhythm. It is the body's internal clock that regulates the timing of sleep and wakefulness. Light exposure, hormones, and other factors influence circadian rhythm. So the sleep stages are the 4 stages of sleep are falling asleep, light non-REM sleep, deep non-REM sleep, and the last stage is REM sleep. During sleep, your cycle through 4 different stages: 3 stages of NER sleep and 1 stage of REM sleep. Stage 1, non-rapid eye movement sleep, is the changeover from wakefulness to sleep. Stage 2 is a period of light sleep before you enter into deep sleep. Stage 3 is a period of deep sleep that you need to feel refreshed in the morning. And REM sleep occurs about 90 minutes after falling asleep. Your eyes move rapidly from side to side behind closed eyelids. And during this REM sleep is when most dreaming occurs. That's when most people have dreaming. So there's the mechanisms of sleep. So there are chemicals and hormones that regulate the sleep-wake homeostasis, which is the balance, and the circadian alerting system. And I think we all know about the hormone melatonin. The mechanism of sleep controls brain control and regulation, directing the quantity and the depth of sleep. External factors of sleep, such as light and caffeine, also influence sleep. The processes during sleep include energy, conservation, self repair, recovery, and brain maintenance. And circadian rhythms and sleep drive are the main processes that regulate sleep. So the two internal biological mechanisms, which is the circadian rhythm and homeostasis, work together to regulate when you are awake and when you fall asleep. The circadian rhythm directs a wide variety of functions, from daily changes in wakefulness to body temperature, metabolism, and the release of hormones. They cause you to be sleepy at night and can help you wake up in the morning without an alarm. Your body's biological clock, which is based on a 24-hour day, controls most circadian rhythms. Sleep wake homeostasis keeps track of your need for sleep. Homeostasis refers to a balance between systems in the body. The homeostatic sleep drive reminds the body to sleep after a certain time and regulates sleep intensity. This sleep drive gets stronger every hour you are awake and causes you to sleep longer and more deeply after a period without sleep. So for individuals who work nights, and I am an example. I worked nights for many years. Um, I had to have blackout curtains so that I can sleep during the daytime, so that, I can get some restful sleep. So, how much sleep do you need? Your need for sleep and your sleep patterns change as you age, but this varies significantly across individuals of the same age. No magic amount of sleep works for everybody of the same age. So, for babies, initially sleep as much as 16 to 18 hours per day, which may boost growth and development, especially for the brain. School age children and teenagers, on an average, need about 9.5 hours of sleep per night. Most adults, even older adults, need 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. However, older people may have more trouble getting enough sleep and are more likely to take medications that can interfere with their sleep. People generally get less sleep than they need due to longer work hours and the availability of round the clock entertainment and other activities. So that is, we know, with for individuals, you can watch TV all night, you can be on your phone and social media, be on your tablet, you do a lot of things, um, you know, why people tend to get less sleep. So, what is rest? Okay. Rest is a state of relaxation and leisure in which the body and mind are less active and stressed. The role of rest: it reduces its reduction. Taking regular breaks to engage in activities that encourage relaxation and help your body recover has been shown to reduce stress levels. The role of rest has with mental clarity. Resting has proven to enhance mental clarity and improve decision making as it allows to recharge. Rest helps tremendously with brain fog. And we all know that sometimes you may need to take that mental health day, that mental break day, just to get your mind in order. You need that rest. And then rest also helps with physical recovery. If your body has been under constant stress, periods of rest can help muscle recovery and heal minor injuries as well. And rest can improve productivity. Incorporating rest breaks into work or study routines is known to boost productivity as it prevents burnout. So, rest versus sleep. So, rest is basically you're awake, but at a reduced degree of activity. Rest is the brain remains active, but people can experience relaxation, reduce tension, and an overall sensation of peace. Rest can occur both in wakefulness and during sleep when transitioning between the sleep stages. And I had already went over, what sleep is. It involves the distinct stages of the four stages, and REM sleep is associated with vivid dreams and plays a crucial role in memory consolidation and emotional regulation. So, for many moms, women and sleep, for many moms, constant sleep deprivation is a standard feature of motherhood. It is to be considered maybe a good mother. You do all these things, and you take care of the family, you take care of your spouses, the children, your work, and sleep is second nature. And we all know that for us to take care of others, we need to have our own self-care. An example is when you're on a plane, and if there is some sort of emergency, you need to put on your oxygen first before you put on the oxygen on others. Because if you're not rested or well, you are unable to help anyone else. Mothers really underestimate the importance of getting enough sleep. This was stated by Jody A. Mindell, a PhD professor of psychology at St. Joseph University in Philadelphia. So the progesterone and estrogen levels in women fluctuate during the various stages of a woman's life, influencing sleep quality. This happens most frequently around the menstrual cycle, pregnancy, and menopause. So for a great amount of years, our sleep is affected because it starts with the menstrual cycle, pregnancy, and menopause. Many women report sleeping poorly during these times, even if they experience side effects like menstrual cramping, body pain during pregnancy, or hot flashes during menopause. Because of these hormonal changes, women are more likely to experience insomnia more than men. So, the signs of sleep deprivation: feeling drowsy or falling asleep during the day, especially during calm activities like sitting in a movie theater or driving, falling asleep within 5 minutes of lying down. And I think I do have this because as my head hits the pillow, I am asleep. Short periods of sleep during waking hours, needing an alarm clock to wake you up on time every day, feeling groggy when you wake up in the morning or throughout the day. This is called sleep inertia. Having a hard time getting out of bed every day. Mood changes, forgetfulness, trouble focusing on a task, sleeping more on days when you don't have to get up at a certain time. So the effects of sleep deprivation. So we all know it affects the sleep deprivation can affect the memory. You have feelings of depression. You're irritable. It weakens your immune system, which can cause chances of you getting sleep. You tend to feel more pain, trouble solving problems and making decisions. Sleep can cause wrinkled skin and dark circles under your eyes. It can also lower your sex drive and higher chances of conditions. Lack of sleep can cause high blood pressure, diabetes, a heart attack, or obesity. So, tips for getting a good night's sleep. Getting enough sleep is important for your health. Here are a few tips to improve your sleep. Set a schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time each day. Exercise for at least 30 minutes most days of the week, but not within few hours of bedtime. Avoid caffeine and nicotine late in the day and alcoholic drinks before going to bed. Relax before going to bed. Try a warm bath, reading, or a relaxing routine. Create a room for sleep. Okay. Avoid bright lights and loud sounds. Keep the room at a comfortable temperature. Don't watch TV or use a smartphone or your computer in your bedroom. Guilty. Uh-oh. Don't lie in bed awake. If you can't go to sleep, do something else, like reading or listening to calming music until you fall asleep. But if you're having problems sleeping, please see your doctor and sleeping if you feel unusually tired during the day. Most sleep orders can be treated effectively. So, tips to incorporate rest into your life: being mindful and taking moments of gratitude. Being mindful, there are mindfulness relaxation techniques such as body scan and mindful listening, where you can be relaxed and it will help you with during stressful times. Take yourself out of stressful or anxious situations for a brief period of time. Plan a short getaway. Take a short nap, and of course, avoid caffeine that or anything that will make your nerves hyperactive. So, hope through research. So, scientists continue to learn about the function and the regulation of sleep. A key focus of research is to understand the risk involved with being chronically sleep deprived and the relationship between sleep and disease. People who are chronically sleep deprived are more likely to be overweight, have strokes and cardiovascular disease, infections, and certain types of cancer than those who get enough sleep. Sleep disturbances are common among people with age related neurological disorders such as Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. There are many mysteries remain about the association between sleep and these health problems. Does the lack of sleep lead to certain disorders, or do certain diseases cause a lack of sleep? These and many other questions about sleep represent the frontier of sleep research. Thank you and sleep well tonight.
Thank you. And I love that picture. That's such a cute picture.
Thank you.
So one thing I wanted to ask you is how so there's something around mom guilt, right? Or rest guilt, something that I learned when I was on my rotations during grad school with when we were talking about family mental health, and something about it is about like moms not feeling guilty when they get that sleep. So for example, when I was pregnant and during all these conversations you have with different people, they'll say, "Oh, sleep when the baby sleeps." But I found that to be very difficult because when he's sleeping, I want to wash the dishes. I'm preparing for when he wakes up with the milk. I am pumping. I am trying to write a report or trying to do something for work. So how, and then when I do sleep, I'm almost not sleeping
Yeah.
because I am nervous that I'm going to leave. I'm not going to hear him when he wakes up or when he's crying or, something. I'm not going to hear the phone, when this is completely different from before I was pregnant, right? Before
Mhm.
you even get me up.
Right,
Forget
right.
that. So how can moms get that sleep without feeling guilty?
That is something that is unfortunately, um, society has made, um, moms feel guilty about all the time. Um, that you know, and especially working mothers. No, and I'm going to take that back. Mothers on the whole, you know, um, yes, you should sleep. They do tell you sleep when the baby is sleeping. And sometimes I had taken that into consideration, because if I don't sleep, I wouldn't be able to function. I wouldn't be able to function. And it's sometimes, I think society put a heavy burden for you to be a quote unquote good mother. You have to have all of these things. You must be superwoman.
Yes.
You know, we have to be superwoman. We are, even if we're working outside of the home, working in the home, you know, we are supposed to be superwoman. We are supposed to have everything under control. But as I stated, as mothers, we need to take care of ourselves, because if we aren't able to take care of ourselves or provide that self-care, we are unable to provide, that care for your loved ones. And it has to, this cycle of being, um, a good mother, you're supposed to have everything in order, and not take care of yourself, needs to be broken. We really, women on the whole, women on the whole just need to, um and I mean, long ago we had that village.
Yes.
And yes, a long ago I don't want to say too long ago, because my oldest is 28, and I believe I had a village. I had my mother and my mother-in-law. So I think I was fortunate to have, that village. But there's a lot of mothers out there who don't have that village, and so they feel guilty now. That, I mean, being a mother, there is no textbook to teach you how to be a mother. You don't learn this in school. You know you have this baby, like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Now you have to learn how to differentiate the different cries, you know. So we definitely need to break that cycle, and make it a norm that, we need to take care of ourselves. So what if the dishes is not washed, at that particular moment? It can be done at a later time, and what if, so once the baby is sleep, I know sometimes once the baby's sleeping, you don't want to sleep too heavy, because you're afraid you sleep too heavy and you won't hear, you know
Mhm.
um uh that you won't hear your child, waking or getting up. But we really need to break that cycle of feeling guilty, and unfortunately society has put, especially for women, to be all knowing, you know to be there at all time. They're supposed to be know all the answers, you know
Yes.
we were supposed to know all the answers. And even, and children are, children, I mean, society, they will ask you questions, and you don't have the foggiest, but and so they make it seem like, you know you make you feel guilty, and this is where the guilt comes in.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't know if there's anyone else who would like to, to state, you know, how, how this guilt, affects, affects, how you take care of yourself. Well, I know I'm an advocate for taking care of yourself, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And whenever we're talking about taking care of ourselves, we've heard so much rhetoric and so many commentaries, Instagram stories, TikToks, everything on self-care, self-care, self-care. But a lot of it doesn't really surround sleep. Around it, a lot of it doesn't surround rest. It talks
Right.
about getting your nails done and getting a meditation and doing some mindfulness and doing some yoga or something like that. But it doesn't really around that, but doesn't really speak on sleep and rest and
Rest.
just having nothing to do, just sleep. And I know that sleep is a very important is very important because
Hmm.
when you're sleeping, in order to gain that full stage, as you called it, within REM, if you have too much on your mind, you're not going to sleep properly. If you're thinking about the finances, you're thinking about daycare, you're thinking about what's happening at your job, you're thinking about, am I even going to have a job, especially in this climate,
Right.
you're not going to sleep. And you say, well, I got 8 hours, I don't know why I'm still sleepy. And I've heard that so many times, even myself, I'm guilty of that too. It's like, okay, I did go to sleep, but did I really sleep? I don't really feel like I slept. And before you know it, you got to get up and do it all over again.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so it's difficult it's almost like, how do you release your mind? How do you get your mind to just get to that stage of REM where you're just fully in that sleep, in that stage?
So as with, I believe, and I, I also am guilty of this, but to have definitely a sleep routine,
Hmm.
where you are completely at rest, where you basically let go of the day, of the previous day, and get that rest so that you can then tackle the next day. Okay. And I think, as busy moms, and that, I think that is where it has come. As busy moms, we are working right up to the time that we are going to sleep, you know so we don't. And as I had stated many times, when I get into bed, my spouse tells me all the time, as I think, as my head is going down, I am asleep. That is just to show how, me, how exhausted I am. Is
Yes.
that, I mean, I am, as I swear, as my head hits the pillow, he will be talking to me, and he said, there you are, you're snoring. Yes. So as the tip state, we need to have that sleep routine. And I know it's difficult. I know that where you can, um have that routine where, like, we do everything for the children. We will put them to bed, read them a bedtime story, tuck them in, things like that, so that they can get some sleep. Now we should do the same thing, maybe just do some reading, you know, do some leisure reading, not work reading,
Or
not.
reading about the news.
Yeah, forget the phone, the social media. I mean, I think that is, besides, it's a rabbit hole that
Yes.
robs, it steals your time. It really steals your time. So read, I mean, maybe read a gossip novel or something, or something that does not, um I know sometimes I used to say, I wish I had a job where I didn't have to think. Something I just do rote, you know. So just something where you just relax, where it puts you into that. And so that your natural circadian rhythm can work as it's supposed to. Because on the market, they sell all types of melatonin.
Yes.
They
That was going to
sell,
be my next question to you is the melatonin. I tried it twice and I felt like I don't know if anyone else that's here because we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and also on Zoom. So if anyone has anything on melatonin, please let me know. But anytime I've tried it, I always feel groggier in the morning than I did, if I didn't take it.
right, right,
Yeah.
yes. And which is true, which is true. Taking those sleep aids, because your body makes these, makes melatonin, and it's the main hormone that regulates your sleep. So um, there are, I mean, introducing things like maybe nutrition in your sleep. Nutrition can also help um regulate your sleep. It can help with the quantity and the quality of sleep. Okay, so I found out there are certain foods like um uh kiwi, tart, cherry juice, fatty fish, nuts, rice can promote relaxation and better sleep. Um,
Before you go on, what's an example? Oh, before we start on that part, I just
mhm.
want to thank everyone for being here today. I believe in the beginning, the stream started and Sharice was starting, so I
Okay.
we forgot that there was a part of that we didn't get to. But I just want to thank everyone for being here.
Okay.
This is Black Mom Societies, Black Moms Can Town Hall series. This is our second season. Yay! Our first season was last year during the election season, and we were so that was a hit. We had a lot of great reviews and people and moms in the community wanting us to bring it back again. So we're here again for a second season with more topics, more conversations that we hope that you will take into your own communities, and also we can continue creating conversation and talk around these well-needed conversations, and also making sure that we're bringing the right information to our moms and to our communities, because that's also very important, especially in these days. So we are so happy that you're here. I am Makeda Green, Dr. Green, CEO, founder of Black Mom Society. We're here with Sharice Warner Rawlock, who is a family nurse practitioner and very active in the community in Brooklyn, New York, and in New York City, and also member of various organizations across New York City and in across the United States, really, because she's a part of the national chapters, and so we are very grateful to have her here to discuss this very, I would say, a topic that's not really that popular, but we wanted to make it popular, especially during National Sleep Awareness Week, and also provide some insight into how rest and sleep can be a powerful tool, especially within your self care routine and in your overall routine, mental health and physical health. So we just talked about sleep. We're pivoting into nutrition. We have some comments in the chat. So Cherie, just to let you know, people did answer you when you asked what is sleep. So, Danielle, she said rest. Natalie said sleep is resting and allowing your body to heal. Ursula said the chance for the body to reset and restore. And so Natalie just put in here, yes, that is true. Our work is never done. We leave our day job to go directly to our night job. So she's agreeing with you on
Exactly.
on on being a mom, and we
Right.
basically have two
Mm-hmm.
jobs plus. So
Yes.
it's very difficult it's not easy being a mom and being a woman, I can tell you that, and also being a Black woman at that. So
Yes.
she also put in the comments here, Jacqueline said, great information, thanks. Sidebar, that's my mom. Thanks, mom. And also, Natalie did put in here, my mom uses a circadian rhythm light. What do you think of those sources?
Um, I'm not aware of the circadian rhythm light, but what I I saw that question, so I decided to do a little, just a quick, research. Um, so it basically helps with the circadian rhythm. It's light. It's particularly its timing and color. It plays a role in regulating the system. Um, yeah, it just knows it just indicate just let your body knows when it's darkness compared to light, and it is to help to prepare your body for rest. I think they use, based on this, they use like blue light that can help you with sleep. So I myself will have to look up and to see about the circadian rhythm light. But thank you for that. As Dr. Green has stated, this is a town hall where we are all here um, uh, to to provide the information. I believe we all here are busy moms. Busy women, busy moms, busy grandmas, aunts, cousins, sisters. We're just busy all around. So um, I mean, just to pivot. I mean, I know that I've never used a light, but as I said, when I worked nights, I had to have dark out curtains, blackout curtains, because, well, let's take that back. Working nights, and when I get home during the day, sometimes I can sleep with it bright, because I an example, they had some sort of earthquake activity some years ago, and family was calling me from around saying, Sharice, did you feel like, no, because I was sound asleep.
Did you feel the earthquake?
I did not feel, because I got off a night shift. It was maybe a hard night shift, and I must have that day. I think maybe when it occurred is when I was maybe in my deep sleep.
Yeah,
So
you definitely were.
I was in my deep sleep that I didn't even feel. So I believe that the light, the circadian rhythm light, but I'm gonna do some research on that to see how what's the benefits with in regards to that light.
Okay.
Thanks
So
for the question, Natalie.
you were talking about the fatty food. They were talking about some foods that can help with sleep
Yeah.
and getting a better sleep. So I know that you said fatty fishes,
Mm-hmm.
nuts.
Nuts can promote relaxation and better sleep. Kiwis, they say tart
Tart
cherry juice.
cherries. Okay.
Yes, they must be really tart. I mean, like, yes, and uh, diets rich in fiber and complex carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates is like potatoes, sweet potatoes, things like that.
Okay.
Um, and healthy fats also is associated with more restful and restorative sleep. So the healthy fats are things like you get like from avocados, things like that. You get the healthy fat,
Okay.
and foods rich in magnesium. And I can tell you, magnesium does help you sleep. Magnesium and calcium can help with just sleep quality, and and provide um, you know that sweet sleep quantity and quality. You
What are
know.
some examples of foods that have magnesium?
Oh, yes. So magnesium, you can get that in legumes, like beans,
Okay.
yeah, things like that. Uh, Magnesium rich foods. Um, I, I, I have, yeah, as I said, avocado, black beans, um, spinach, bananas, um, I believe pumpkin seeds. Um, Uh, there's quite a few. I know. Oh, peanut butter. Okay, so these things are rich in magnesium, but I know for sure because I know I use a lot of avocados
Okay.
and beans. Yeah, and of course, like bananas. Bananas has quite a few things that you can use the bananas for.
Nice. Any
To
excuse to eat guacamole, we're here.
yes,
Giving us an example. You just gave us a great example there.
yeah,
So, what are some foods that we should avoid? So, I know you said alcoholic beverages
apple and caffeine.
and
Yeah,
caffeine. Wow. So,
yes.
how soon? So how soon should we stop our happy hour before we go to bed? Right,
At least 4 hours,
4 hours before.
4 hours, and eat also, and
Yeah.
also eating the meals because
Okay.
your body wants to rest, and if you have a late meal, your body now has to work on digesting that food.
Hmm.
So this is where it comes where you say you sleep and you may sleep 8 hours and you get up and you still feel tired because your
Yeah.
body was working all night trying to to digest that food. So you're not getting what's called restful sleep, you know,
Interesting.
because your body's just, your body's still working, but your body needs to be where it is, completely at rest. It's like almost immobilized, where it's not doing anything. So your body can now heal and restore, so that you can get that restful sleep and get up the next day to come back the next day.
So you're saying 4 to 5 hours before we go to bed should be our last meal.
Yes, a last yeah, last thing, I think you can have like maybe some water, you know. Um I mean, if you're going to have something warm, make sure it's caffeine free, you
Okay.
know. You know, I mean, they have made mention of things like chamomile tea.
Hmm.
Yes, and that can help with the relaxation process, because your body really needs um, to be relaxed to fall asleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how can we incorporate this in meal planning? I'm speaking, I'm asking these questions not only just for myself here, so because I am writing it down. I'm like, okay, yes, that's what she's saying, but also just in general, how can we create realistic strategies for meal planning? Because whatever I eat, the family eats in some regard. Because especially these days, buying two separate groceries is just not realistic for a lot of families these days, not just for financial reasons, just in general. Like, we don't have time to go to every grocery store. So a lot of times we're just picking up what we need to pick up and moving forward. So how can we, um, what are some realistic family meal plannings that we can do?
Good question. Realistic, well, I know meal planning, meal preparation, if you have that opportunity to prepare, um, uh, to prepare like the vegetables, have things. I know for me, I do a lot of things on Sunday
Okay.
where I basically plan for the week, you know and I will make maybe one chicken and maybe some fish or something, and then but have things. I will have vegetables. um I know for me, I basically have to prepare for the week because we are such busy individuals. So uh um
What are some examples of meal planning that you do?
So, meal planning, I do. So, meal planning is um, would, as I said, I will have maybe two meats that I'll
Mhm,
prepare um, on the Sunday. So, if it's like um, chicken, maybe some fish,
mhm,
um, um, some ground chicken or ground turkey. I have those things. So um, I know from in my family, I know from I have I myself have started to um, change the way I've been eating. So everybody's eating salads every day now. So I so they eating salads with maybe some roasted with some chicken.
mhm.
um I'll get uh some keto friendly wraps and
Mm,
make, yeah, I get the keto friendly wraps, and as I said, I will prepare like some ground turkey, or I don't like ground turkey as much as ground chicken, so I'll get you, most likely it's ground chicken
okay.
I will have prepare. And and as I said, we are big on avocados. So my main thing is, and then of course I will have things like I'll season like broccoli, um, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts,
Okay.
um, what's the long green, asparagus. I will like pre-season them, and then just when I come home, I'll just throw them in the oven and
Okay.
roast them. Yeah, yeah, just anything for me to not to be over the stove too long. I
Yes.
for me everything is. I think right now, a lot of times now I do a lot of things just in the oven. They're just put in the oven, you know. And I do have a very good air fryer. Ooh,
Mhm.
the air fryer and some salmon goes very well. I
It
make a
does.
kind Yes, it does. So I
Yes,
do
it
use
does.
my air fryer, and it does make, I mean, I'll make jerk salmon, I'll make barbecue salmon. I'll just put the flavor and over it. Some honey mustard salmon, anything that I could think that I want to have, make a little different. I'll just put the air
Yeah.
fryer. Yes.
Well,
Mm.
Sharice, we're gonna have to add chef to your resume because you just gave
No.
us some ideas here about the different things we can do. And not once did she include anything about starch. Everything was
Well,
vegetables
no,
and
that's what I have the keto friendly, because the
oh, the
keto
keto friendly
friendly
wraps.
wraps, so they do
Okay.
have starch. They do have
Okay.
starch, but they have less, so like a one wrap has like maybe 18 grams of carbohydrates.
Okay.
Right. So like one slice of maybe whole wheat bread is like maybe about 21 grams. We do not buy bagels, because one bagel could run anywhere between 44 to 52 grams
Wow.
of carbohydrates. And when your body produces insulin, when it detects this glucose, it your it produces um, 1 unit of insulin to break down 15 grams of carbohydrates. So
Okay.
if you have a 52, grams of, I mean, that means it's producing a lot of insulin just to break it down. And this is where, unfortunately, individuals become with insulin resistance,
Okay.
become
And
resistant.
that's
And
just
then,
diabetes.
yes, and then it can lead to diabetes, which is a
Okay.
whole different a whole different
Yes.
ball game. Yes, yes.
So
Yes.
you're saying the less carbohydrates is better.
Well,
within your diet?
you do need complex, you do need carbohydrates. Don't get me wrong. You do need, especially because carbohydrates, is broken, when it's broken down into sugars. You
Okay.
need sugar for energy for your cells.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you do need that sugar to for the for the energy for your cells. But what happens is that when we consume too much um, of the carbohydrates and we do not burn off, you know, I mean, the prime example, we will have Thanksgiving and then we sit down and wallow in it. I mean, your body's now working. I mean, it's like, oh, so if you, because it's giving you that energy, you can work it off, do a short walk or something like that. Or that is the time when you should clean the kitchen instead of cleaning the kitchen before you have the meal. Clean the kitchen after so that you can burn off that, because, again, an example, if you give children candy with sweets, they are bouncing off the walls because sugar gives you energy, you know.
Yes.
But then they know how they naturally will just burn it off, So they burn it off. So that's why, well, unfortunately, now many kids now will sit down and watch TV or things like that. But if you give them, they will burn it off, and so that it wouldn't stay in your system and cause havoc, as I call it.
Hmm.
So that is why. So I do have carbohydrates, don't get me wrong. I'm from the Caribbean. Some tea and crackers. You're supposed to have four crackers, just four crackers, which is sometimes very difficult.
It's very difficult to have just four crackers, especially
Four
four
crackers.
biscuits.
I mean, yes, four crackers. Ooh, that means that's a half a cup of tea that I'll be drinking. You know,
Yes.
so I know for myself sometimes that can be a challenge. When I get to the fifth and sixth one, like, oh, there's only four I'm supposed to have. And yes,
So
but
what are
I
some
try. There are things out there that can, as I said, they keto friendly wraps. As I said, has like 18 grams, so that it is easier to digest, because the problem is we need to digest it. We need foods high in fiber so we can digest it and let it go. It will take what it needs to take and then let
Mhm.
release the rest. The rest of the info. The Natalie says she loves her air fryer. I was just
Yes, she
looking at that.
does.
I agree with you. I love my air
Yes,
fryer. Mm-hmm.
so I like mine too.
Yes.
So what are some so now that most of us are back in person, working, commuting, um, if you're anything like me, I miss working from home, but being in person is what we're required to do now. So what are some simply simple healthy snacks that we can use that we can eat throughout the day? Because throughout the day, you're walking around, you're dealing with a lot of people. If you're anything like me with my job, you're dealing with a lot of people. Let's just put it like that. And so sometimes you're just like, "Ugh, I just need something." So you're just grabbing anything that you can find. So what are some healthy snacks that we can have that you suggest,
Uh,
or even that
I
you
know.
do?
Well, I know one thing that I know. Uh, I do. I have like I think it's edamame, which is
Okay.
soy. Yeah. So
Yes.
I'm big on that. The edamame. I'm also big on. For me, it's fruits. I do like my fruits. So I love my oranges. It could be red oranges or the tan. The something that I would not um um, go and get a bag of potato chips. Because don't get me wrong, I love potato chips.
Yes. Same here. Same
You
here.
know, I wouldn't say that, but I will, and even sometimes with the fruits, I will have to be, not to have too many fruits, but, something where I will, I tend to have, for me, I also tend to have like maybe a yogurt, you know, but I know a lot of people, or like maybe peanuts, almonds, things like that. Peanuts, almonds. You can do the same, pumpkin seeds, you know, uh, instead of getting, as I said, the potato chips, or things like that. So those are, I think, quick little, things that you can, healthy snacks that can be beneficial throughout the day. I mean, for me, during the pandemic, I've never worked from home. I was always outside. So because of the I still was still out there, so um but I do tend to take like seeds, beside pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds without the salt, things like that, almonds, walnuts, maybe some pecans, like, some peanuts, as long as you don't have the allergies.
Yes, please.
As long as, I'm not saying, as long as you don't have the allergies to these things,
Okay.
these are things that I know that I will, that I have been trying. I have been, because as I said, I've been guilty of having the bag of potato chips, and just, I say I'm just gonna have a handful. Next thing you know, oops, the bag is done.
Well, to your defense, and
Hmm.
to my defense too, and all the other people that love potato chips, they only give you maybe half a bag anyway.
Exactly.
The bag is full of air, so by the
Yes.
time you open it, you're at half. So it's just in defense.
Thank
Okay,
you. Thank you.
it's not the full bag here. It's
Yes.
the little
Hmm.
small.
Right. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I always come to defense for potato chips, which is terrible. I know my mom is probably shaking her head right now because she is that you no, that's a no.
Right.
But I would say I just want you to just get it just a little bit more into the into what you were talking about with the insulin and with the those types of the like how that works, because we know about diabetes, we understand it, but sometimes we're not understanding how it all is a part of that part of the process, within how we eat, our choices, and also within our sleep. So
Mhm.
can you just kind of just touch on that just a little bit?
So we all know that, our pancreas produces, um, produces insulin.
Hmm.
Okay, so when you are, consuming, a meal, and this is anyone that consume a meal, meaning a diabetic or non-diabetic, your blood glucose is going to elevate no matter what. Eh, It does not mean that you're diabetic. It means that you just have eaten, and your blood glucose goes up. Your body, your pancreas then sense, um, you know, biologically it sense the, that you have consumed the meal, and then releases the insulin, and the insulin is, then will help to, break down the glucose, and, take what is needed, and then it will go, then the rest is released. Okay. For a non-diabetic, so if you take your finger stick, um, half an hour after, your number is going to be high. But within 2 hours after your body has gone through the digestive process, your blood glucose should return to normal because your pancreas has released enough of the insulin to break down the glucose. With a diabetic is once they eat and it goes up, and if they're not on medications, before they find out they're a diabetic, it will go up and the numbers will stay up. Okay, so your finger stick will stay up. What the medications do, be it insulin you're taking or any of the oral diabetics, it in essence, um, what I say, squeeze the pancreas or knock on the door of the pancreatic cell and says, you need to release more insulin. You need to release more insulin, so that it can break down, so that you can get rid of the excess. So this is the reason why everything should be eaten in moderation. I'm not saying that you should not have carbohydrates. Everything that we consume, you do need it, but eat it in moderation. Um, uh, if you have a healthy plate, usually will have maybe just a, uh, a small portion of carbohydrates, a small portion of rice or whatever, the vegetables, the proteins, the legumes. But because the body needs to now, the pancreas now needs to break down all of that excess glucose that is being consumed. And of course, we don't only just eat it, we also drink it. So all of the sodas is even the juices such as orange juice, apple juice, they are concentrated in sugars, so makes it really difficult for the pancreas. It puts a strain on the pancreas to make, and this is how individuals become insulin resistant. So they start off first being insulin resistant until it becomes, you then become diabetic. You can, of course, control it, and um, to control diabetes, and I'm just going to say control diabetes, to prevent you from becoming diabetic. There's three things that you need to incorporate daily. You need to eat foods in moderation. Include activity. I'm not gonna say you're gonna have to run on a treadmill, but just walk, just do some activity, include activity. And of course, when you include the activity and eat in moderation, it will maintain your weight. Okay, because unfortunately now, because obesity is now, it's a pandemic everywhere around the world. Everyone from babies all the way up to adults have obesity. Okay, and it's not gone are the days that if your family had diabetes, you are going to get diabetes. I deal with patients every day because of their weight is the reason why they have diabetes. So those three things, and just and even those three things can also help you with your sleep. You know, um, eating foods in moderation. Avoiding the caffeine, and not eating too late before bedtime. Activity. You increase activity does help you relax. But you shouldn't have work out now and then go to sleep, half an hour later. Just give your time, your body to relax, to cool down, and and to maintain your weight. Everything works um, in tangent. You can't do one thing and think it's going to solve the other nine things. Everything has to work together so that we can um, live healthy and vivacious lives, healthy lives, um, lifestyle. I hate to use the word diet. I wouldn't use the word diet because diet is temporary. It has to be incorporated. Um, it has to be your lifestyle. If this is, as long as you know this is what you need to do to maintain,
Yes.
this is your lifestyle. Because diets, unfortunately, is it's temporary. You get the diet, you do the diet, you get the results, but you're unable to maintain results. You need to sustain those results. So, um, yes, so that is how, to avoid not to become diabetic. There are many individuals out there who are pre-diabetic. You know, if you do your annual medical exam with your primary care physician, that is one screening that needs to be done. And because if you know that you are, say, quote unquote, pre-diabetic, I call that the yellow light. When you see the yellow light, you're supposed to slow down. So you slow down. It's like, okay, before, we don't want you to, and some of these diets and these fads, you're eating all kind of crazy stuff, and then you can't maintain it. It may become too expensive. But if it's something that you can incorporate and make it part of your daily lives, I think this is the way. And I am speaking, but I am speaking from also trying to maintain my health also. I'm not going to say that I am perfect. I, I'm I'm no way perfect. I'm still learning. They always say healthcare providers and nurses are the worst patients.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm speaking also behavioral health providers too. We
yes,
psychologists, social workers, we
yes, yes,
we make
yes.
the worst patients too. We think we know everything. We're like, we're fine. Like,
Exactly. Hmm. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Okay.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have one last question for you, and is how do you, so when you see that yellow light, so you said the pre-diabetic is a yellow light, how do you
Yes.
slow down?
So meaning the same meaning where I said to. So if you know you consume lots of sodas,
Mhm.
slow down with drinking all of those sodas. If you love your cookies, your cakes, your ice creams, it is the same way. The same you tell a smoker, you can't tell someone to stop cold turkey. Yes, we tried to tell them to stop cold turkey, but slow down. Once so you slow down. You eat things in moderation. Be more mindful of the things that you are eating and doing, because sometimes you just pick up anything. Don't go to the grocery when you're hungry, because you pick up all kind of, you don't pick up
Yeah,
yeah, all kind of extra stuff, things like that.
impulsive.
Yeah, impulsive, thank you. You do that impulsive buying, so um and don't and if you're eating, try not to eat to become like full, like you are like, you know eat to be satisfied, you know and not to be full. So slow down with the sodas, the concentrated, the sweetened juices, all of the carbohydrates, being of a Caribbean uh, family, sometimes a Sunday meal, you have rice, macaroni pie, potato salad, right there you have three carbohydrates. And for many years we have eaten like that,
Hmm.
you know? So if you know you're eating like that, choose one. It's either you have the rice or you have the macaroni pie, or you take half a spoon of rice and half, a small slither, so that it makes up, where it would not be you, because if you want the macaroni pie and you want the rice, you, instead of having two big spoons of rice, have, one spoon of rice, and instead of a big slice of the macaroni, just half of it, so that it, your body will know how to break it down and things like that. So you just basically slow down, and then of course, with that, you increase your activity. I'm guilty of, but I try my best. um Things like, if you go to the grocery, sometimes, we want to find the spot at the front. And
Yes.
sometimes sometimes if I know, I said, oh, you know what, let me get a little walk in. I will park a little, parking a little distance away, so that gives you, chance to walk. Even walking in the grocery, taking, things like that, um and walking is if you can incorporate walking, you know um but as a, a lot of people are busy, but you have to make it part of your, um you really have to make it. I mean, there are, so many uh, things on YouTube and social media. You can just walk in your home, and just, and if you can just do some activity. So all these things, so if you are, so just a little background. When I say borderline or pre-diabetic, they look at a number called the hemoglobin A1C. Okay, so to be diagnosed with diabetes, that A1C number is usually greater than 6.5. Borderline is anywhere between 5.7 and 6.4. So if you go and you get your annual and you're numb, because I know sometimes physicians will, some physician will say, "Oh, you're not diabetic," but they may forget to say, "Well, you know what? You're in this borderline area. You need to now be much more mindful. Decrease your, eat these foods in moderation." Decrease the amount of sweetened drinks and things like that,
Mm.
do some activity, things like that. So this is where, the education, so this is why you need to see and have an annual, and so you could get these tests done so that and I mean, I teach my patients all the time. They will say, the doctor said it was fine. What is fine? And I will ask them, well, what is fine? What did they say? Sometimes I say, can I get the permission? Can I call your doctor to find out exactly what's what, so that I can then now educate them, on
Yeah.
these things. Yeah, um we need to continue to educate our community. uh,
Yes.
our
Absolutely.
community, yes. um uh, you know our black and brown, individuals in, really have um, the 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 raw end of the stick, but we are very much resilient individuals.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, we are very much so. As long as they have the information, many of them, I know many of them do act on it.
Yes.
So, and this is where we need to continue. For you, and I want to say thank you for you having these town halls, and reaching everyone, to let them know, you know how to have that positivity, have that healthy lifestyle, physically, mentally, emotionally.
Yes,
It
absolutely.
yeah, it needs to be holistic. You cannot you just say you're going to be physically, but if you're not mentally and emotionally, it's not going to work.
No.
Everything has to work together. you know
Yes,
so, mm.
this is true. And that is the advice that that Cherise has for us with regard to our nutrition, our healthy habits, being able to incorporate all that in our choices. We want to thank her for all the information that she gave us today, all the insight into our menus, even giving us a little education on our insulin, how what are the understandings of pre-diabetic versus diabetic, and even before being pre-diabetic, what does that look like? And I know that that is a very important question to ask even at the physician's office, just because a lot of times they're not going to ask, they're not going to tell you, even just as being a psychologist. I like the fact that when parents or when clients ask me questions, because a lot of times I'll just tell you, oh, there's of no concern, you're fine. But there's some people that ask, well, no, what does that mean? And so I would be able to go into more depth with you when you ask questions. So just even for myself, I always ask questions, even to my PCP, just being able to, get more insight into what does that mean. What are some things we can ask? What are some things we can do better? With that being said, Cherise, I have posted Cherise everywhere on social media. She was like, "What? Yeah, that was the face that she made when she saw her face everywhere." She's on Facebook, Instagram. She's also on Threads now. She didn't even know, but I had her everywhere in the last a couple weeks. So if you need to find Cherise on social media, she's available on Cherise_NP. Um, we can also get her email address that she can provide to you if you have any questions or any other further insight into what it is to make healthy choices when it comes to sleep, rest, and also nutrition that is related to sleep and rest. And for everyone that joined today, we are so thankful. We thank you for all of your comments, your questions, your insight. And we hope to see you again at our next topic, which will be coming out soon in a couple of weeks in March 28th, where we'll be discussing stress, migraines, and wellness. So that is another area that we want to discuss because we all, there's an increase of people always having migraines, headaches. What does that look like? And so we will have another expert come in to discuss with us and have that conversation. So with that being said, we thank you for um, including us into your Saturday evening plans. And we hope that you have a great rest of, you're so welcome, Ursula. A great rest of your evening and also weekend. And also, we have stopped early enough that everyone can go to sleep on time. All right. um, we will see you again soon. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.